I'm so glad that JoJo airs on a Friday, and that it hasn't stopped airing and is going to be airing for a while, because it cleanses my soul after watching that abomination that was Berserk Episode 1. I'm so glad I have JoJo to watch, because this episode made me smile, it made me happy, it made me think, of good and happy times, and I'm glad Friday is still JoJo Day. So, JoJo, this episode introduces a new character that is a stand user and has a very OP ability. His name is Rohan. Hopefully I'm saying his name right. His stand ability, oh my god, broken. Now, I say OP and broken quite a bit when it comes to Part 4 JoJo, and I've said it a lot, because there's a lot of crazy stand users. I mean, look at Josuke. Josuke's stand, Crazy Diamond, is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the only thing that makes that, entire stand not completely busted and broken or OP is because of him not being able to heal himself. But if he could, the stand would be, insanely too OP. So, one thing I have to say is that the stand that was introduced in this episode, by far, I think, is one of the most OP stands to date. I have to even say, it's probably even more OP than even Dio's, in a way. I mean, Dio, he can manipulate time and all that, and use Zawaldo, but the ability to be able to read everybody's life, turn them into a book, remove their memories, and also control them to the point to where they can't fight against you, that's pretty fucking OP. Think about this. The dude's ability, Rohan's ability, his stand, he can write in one of your pages that he opens up because of his stand ability, and he can write and say, you can't attack me, and you can't attack him no matter what. Even if you had a stand ability or whatever, you cannot attack this man. It is absolutely insane. It's really freaking ridiculous when you think about how OP that ability is, and I'm like, bro, imagine if this was used on other stand users in the past. It would just GG right there. So, I mean, this stand that was used in this episode, I was like, bro, this is crazy. How do you overcome a stand that can do something like that? How do you overcome a stand that could rewrite your entire self? He could literally write on you and make it to where you can't do certain things, or he make it to where you can't probably use abilities, or maybe you couldn't eat or something. I wonder if it's possible. I'm just very curious if, he could probably write on, let's say, Koichi and say, you can no longer use your stand ability. I wonder if that would work. Does anything he write, does it actually necessarily mean he can't do it, or he can do it? I'm just curious to the limitations of his abilities, of how far they will go. But another question is, how will, Koichi get back all of his memories and what he has lost? Because, I mean, look, pages were ripped out of him in this episode, and he was losing memories, and he also lost weight. And I'm thinking, how do you get your memory back or whatever when your pages are just fucking ripped out of your face? That just doesn't seem like you could possibly get that back. So unless there's a way to reverse the ability, maybe, you have it to where the Mangaka can reverse it, Rohan, he can put, the pages back in, or maybe, Josuke, he might be able to fix it with his stand ability. It just seems like, holy shit, how is Koichi going to get out of this predicament that he is currently in? But enough of that. I want to talk about Rohan's personality. His personality, my first impressions, he is a absolute psychopath. When he grabbed that spider, and he was just talking about how he needs to know how to draw it, I'm like, okay, that's something you would see from a mangaka. I'm like, it's not out of the ordinary or anything like that. I mean, I could see that happening. And then all of a sudden, the man stabs the damn spider and starts licking it like a lollipop, and I'm like, bro, stop. That's disgusting. That spider licking scene, that's nightmare fuel. That is straight up nightmare fuel. That was scary. When you see this man just stab a spider, he just starts licking that spider all over. I'm like, oh, God. And then after that, I mean, the way he, acts around everybody and his persona, he just has this, no chill atmosphere around him. So, I guess he's a really cool character. I like his design. I love the way his hairstyle is. He just seems like a very fun and interesting villain for this arc. I'm kind of sad that he's probably going to be defeated and completely kind of kicked out of the series and never come back. But I mean, still, he's a really cool design. I love the design. I absolutely love that design, and I love his stand ability. Even though it's OP, I love that stand ability because it's just a unique ability. And that's something I love about Part 4 JoJo, Diamond is Unbreakable. There's a lot of unique stand abilities that really stand out. Because, I mean, thinking about it, there was some cool stands in Part 3, Stardust Crusaders. There was a lot of cool stands, don't get me wrong. But when it comes to Part 4, a lot of the stands seem to be very unique and something that's very diverse. And you're just like, I don't know what to expect next. Because there's just so many crazy things. I mean, look, Josuke's stand, to, the hand, to what we got in this episode, to the chef that was just making food and causing your organs to pop out of you. I mean, there's just some crazy stands that have been introduced in this season of JoJo that I really am appreciating. I love how wacky it is, and it's just definitely using the stands to the utmost fullest that it possibly could be, and I love how that's being done. So overall, my thoughts on this episode: it's a great start to this next arc. I love the villain. Rohan is a badass. Even though he's a crazy psycho, I love the way his character is designed. I wonder how Koichi's gonna get out of this. I mean, we do get to see Josuke in the middle of the episode. He's following Koichi around, and he sees him go into the house. Maybe that might, you know, put a stop to whatever's going on. This actually might be the first time we see it to where Koichi probably can't fight someone and beat someone by himself. Because if we do think about it, one of the most reoccurring things that we have seen from Part 4 JoJo is Koichi constantly handling problems by himself. He does that quite a bit. He has done that often throughout this entire run of this anime, and I wonder if this is the first time in the anime or the series of JoJo Part 4 that we're going to see Koichi to where he needs help. He needs someone to be there to help him out because he cannot possibly get his own self out of that. Maybe that's what we're probably going to see, and maybe that's what this entire arc is trying to mean. But once again, I gotta point out, Koichi, another arc, he's getting the main focus. Once again, like, it's very strange. Josuke, he gets some arc from time, like, you know, some spotlight and, like, different arcs from time to time, but most of the time, it's Koichi getting the spotlight. It's very weird how the primary JoJo isn't that much focus compared to this side character, which is Koichi. It's interesting, food for thought. So, you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.